So what are some factors that can increase emotional doubt?
Almost any stressor in life, almost any. Now some of these can come in groups. It could be an emotional factor, right? My girlfriend or boyfriend broke up with me. My mother or father died. I lost a child. We have two of those cases right in our family. That'd be a huge category. It could be, I had my ex birthday, and it just realized to me that I'm closer to the end of the line than I am at the beginning. What about my own mortality? Or how come I just sat in church the other day and I realized that Christians are really big when God answers prayer, but I remember 3 others you asked last week, and I know you personally, and I know 2 of them haven't been answered. Why do you elevate the 1 and don't elevate the 2? You say that sounds like a factual question. Okay, but it morphs into an emotional question like, what? Doesn't God care about me? Does he only care about some of the stuff? Does he only hear me part of the time? Did his phone not ring? You know? So the emotional doubts can come from physical pains. They can come from emotional pains. They can come from what-if questions. So whatever motivates pain, or how do we know we're right, or I want to be sure, a psychological state. I would say the 2 most common psychological states from which I get the most questions. Now, I'm no psychologist, I'm no counselor, I don't diagnose. But I'd say the 2 most common states are someone who struggles with emotions, somebody who struggles with anxiety, or somebody who's obsessive compulsive. And note, somebody who has an obsessive compulsive personality, they don't have to necessarily have an obsessive compulsive disorder. So I'm not calling names. You go, well, how do you know them? Yeah, see, that's the point. When I ask them, do you get anxious? Oftentimes I'll ask if they can bring a friend in, or a fiance, or a husband, or a wife, or a parent with a child. And I'll say, are you anxious? And they'll go, I don't think so. But the parent sitting behind them is going, someone who knows them pretty well. So somebody else can see us better than we can see us. So I would say an anxiety, either a disorder or just plain anxiety, or obsessive compulsive disorder, or just plain, I want to know for sure, obsessive compulsive personality. I want to be 100%, I want to be 110%, well, you can't be. But that bothers me. I think I should be able to be 110%. Those kind of personality types are more prone to have those doubts. But if you think about it, if your doubts were truly factual, and you want to be that I'm a rock kind of solid kind of, I don't have emotional doubts, how come your doubts come, when you just think about it, how come your doubts come from the night before a big exam, when you're going to meet with your boss tomorrow, when your child is going through something and you have a meeting with the teacher, when you have a checkup with the doctor? How come they come during those times? So I'd say emotional doubt can easily and frequently be caused by any stressor that creates emotional situations in us, whether we are or are not asking the religious questions.
How many emotional doubters would you say are kind of self-induced?
The highest majority, because the theory says things are going to happen in life, but some people respond to a bad car accident differently than another person responds to the exact same, and then it's often a person go, oh yeah, this friend of mine, Bob, and they know examples, you know. We know that 2 different people can have the exact same thing, exact same surgery, and respond differently, or different parents, or a no-parent home, or a 1-parent home versus a 2-parent home. Normal stressors in life. And I think it's not just what happens, but the theory says it's not what happens to you. What happens to you is painful enough sometimes. But the real stressor is what you tell yourself about what happens to you, or the other way you say it is, how are you downloading it? How are you downloading what happens to you? Well, I had this accident, and I'm telling you, it's not emotional. The accident's really there. What happened? A few weeks later, I wondered, my mom lives 10 states away, and she said, honey, I wished you lived here because I would love to give you a head rub or a massage or help you feel better, or I got some medicine, you can take some of my medicine, I got some anxiety, whatever. My mom cares, but I pray and pray and pray, and God doesn't seem to care. What's going on with him? I see these answers to prayer, and then you see these misbeliefs. Usually emotional doubters tell themselves things that are not true. Examples, here's a couple of examples. Whenever I memorize verses, and then I go back to them in hard times, or I pull them out of my little pouch of verses on cards, God always promises these wonderful things, and I don't see oh yeah, I'm not going to answer this one. But for example, 3 times, I'll give you one example, John 14-16, there are 3 times, whatever you pray, I will do it for you. Yeah, well then why didn't he? Because 3 times in the exact same chapters, he says, but you'll still have problems. One time he says they're going to kill you. In this world you'll have troubles. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You said whatever I haven't given to you, you'll take care of it. Yeah, but there's also troubles and someone's going to trip you up, someone's going to kill you. Well, how do I know which is which? Read the verses in their context. So when you take things out, when you lift things out of context, so you take it and you say, the Bible says that right there. I know, did you see the next verse? It says we're going to have troubles.
So false assumptions?
False assumptions, going off the deep end about something you think should be true, thinking you're God. Oh, I don't think I'm God. No, but you act like you do because you judge him when he doesn't come up to your standards. So it's not what happens to you. It's what the theory is. Emotions come, in general emotions, not just doubt. The theory is, in general, it's not what happens to you. It's how you download it, what you say. God never answers my prayer. Here's the second way it's done. Oh, my favorite verses don't work anymore. The second type of the objection is whenever I read the New Testament, everybody who's in a tough spot gets out of it when they pray. Really? What if I told you almost nobody who's in a tough spot and prays gets out of it without any punishment, without any harm, without anything happening? What I told you, almost never, you're misreading the text. There's an example of telling you, hey, I always got out. I don't get out. God must not love me. It's bad reasoning. So again, my point would be anything that causes emotional stressors can cause emotional doubt.